Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
He's going to do a little arc to try to get under you. 100 feet back, making that dive. Too cool here.
That 38 is no matter what I do, he's today.
Race friends, it's time for the fastest 2 hours in motorsports. It's time for On Pit Road Racing, right here, right now, live from downtown Las Vegas on the flagship station, the WCOBM Television Network. Our race team will have all the latest news, updates, and interviews for the world of motorsports. So buckle up and pull those belts tight. The green flag is in the air, and it's time to go racing. And here are the hosts of On Pit Road Racing, Alan Michaels and the First Lady, Diane Fox.
Hump day, halfway through the work week, halfway to the weekend, man. 4 o'clock, and it's Wednesday edition of On Pit Road Racing. Good afternoon. Alan Michaels here in Control Center at the WCOBM. Sitting next to me, left-hand side, my good friend Johnny Spilatro back with us, man. How you doing today, buddy?
Back at it for round 2. Thank you for having me, Alan, and a happy St. Patty's Day for all the green-thumbed folk around there.
I think you'll be drinking the green beers, you know.
Yep, corned beef and cabbage, the whole 9 yards.
I like it, man. I'm into it. I think I might head over to the Irish pub down here on Sunday and taste me one of them green monsters that they serve over there.
Absolutely, or fly out to Chicago, jump right into the river that leads out into Lake Michigan. It's green as a 4-leaf clover.
Do they still do that up there?
They still do that.
They dye the river up there.
They dye the river.
All right.
It's awesome. It really is.
I've seen pictures of it. Diane's been to it. She's been to it. She went over there one year, and I can't remember something, St. Patty's Day, and there was some other event, and all of a sudden they looked down, and she said all this green started flowing down the river. She thought the apocalypse had happened or something. I don't know. Anyhow. On Pit Road Racing, the show comes to you from the WCOBM studios, everybody, downtown Las Vegas, 450 Fremont Street on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m. And we stream the show from the network at the WCOBM TV all the way through our Facebook channels, YouTube, LinkedIn. We've got it just about everywhere. Twitter, man, you can find it. Just search On Pit Road Racing. Be more than happy to pick it up there. And if you like it, we certainly do appreciate the like and the subscription if you're doing it for the YouTube, too. Show partners out there, the Gene Woods Racing Experience, 450 Fremont Street, just on the other side of where the WCOBM. If you need more information about Las Vegas's only indoor drift track, it's at gokartslasvegas.com. Woods Family Sandwiches, man, they're really great, man. If you got a party, special event, looking for somebody to do some catering work for you, man, give Daylin Woods a call over at Woods Family Sandwiches. You can get more information on their website at wfsandwiches.com. The Hot Shoe Hall of Fame out there at hotshoehof.com. We'll get to that in just a second. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, lvms.com. South Point 400 coming up for you. Round number 1 of the round of 8. I mean, you get these playoffs. You got round number 1 of 2.
I still call it the chase.
Okay.
They could call it what they want.
All right. Anyhow, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, LVS.com. Our good friends Jeremy Porter and the folks down at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Man, a great place to go down and check that out. It is like the condominium, the country club, you might say, of motorsports.
I may take the whole may challenge the whole Pro Late Model series to head up there when we're not racing in July.
I just think it's pretty cool that if you go there to use the drift track, they have BMWs that you drift in.
Good thing I know for you friends that have a few Beamers.
No, I don't think putting me in one of those things would be, I think the insurance payment would be too high. Anyhow, Red One Scooters, want to thank all the guys over there at Red One, man. They help us out when Diane needs some help around the pits because, people think that, when you look down a pit road and everything, you see it on TV, but it's not as small as what you actually think it is, trying to maneuver between especially here, because you've got the Neon Garage, then you've got the Xfinity side, then you got the truck side, then you got all the people that Goodyear and Toyota and all the brands. And I mean, it's a trucker. I mean, it's a truck around that thing.
Yeah, me and my dad, we were in the infield last October, and it was quite a trek for both of us, because we were at the Cup Garage, we were at Xfinity Garage, we were checking out the Goodyear tire selection, kind of learning everything about that. We basically scaled the whole entire infield, media center, all that stuff, and it wasn't easy for him especially, but myself, I was pretty beat after that.
I'm exhausted after 3 days at that place. It'll wear you out. Hammer and Harry's, 450 Fremont Street, right across from us, man. Great food, great attitude, man. And of course, when you get something there, they always give you a free shot of ketchup. Okay. Scratch loves that. He says, they really give you a free shot of ketchup. And I said, yeah, they'll squirt it right in your mouth. All right. Hey, we're going to be hitting the road again April 12th through the 14th. We're going to be out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Strip. The NHRA is here in town. Forward Wide Racing is back in action. And so we'll be out there doing a live remote. And if your group or business would like to have the show come to us, give us a shout at 702-803-0875 or drop us a line at On Pit Road Racing. Let us know where your business is at. We can come break this thing down and set it right up there. We can do it. So that's what you got. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, real easy. Contact Diane at 702-803-0875 Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. You're going to be put in the segment called Racing Around the Country, all right? And you can also drop us a line at onpitroadracing@gmail.com. Johnny, if you wouldn't mind, grab one of those shoes and hold them up. And while we do that, I shall tell the fine folks all about what we got going on here, because this is a really thing. It's your chance to take part, business and company to take part in the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. It is a 501c3. There you go. Johnny's got them holding up. Those are the great looking tennis shoes that we got. And it's really easy. We don't sell any advertising on this network as far as this show goes and everything else, but you can be part of it two ways. A $500 package will get you 132nd spots on this network. We'll run it through the 36 weeks. And a $1,000 partnership will get you 232nd. Put you on the social media and put in a banner and everything else. It's all tax deductible, folks. 100% will send you the paperwork along with it. So if you'd like to do that, give us a shout. It's 702-803-0875. You can do that. And you can also do this, and I'll put this little ticker that rolls right on down along the line from Johnny and I, and it's right here. And let me hit it to save, and it'll do that. And there she goes. You can go to thehotshoehof.com, hit that donate button. If you do, there's a comment section. Please let everybody know that you are sending a donation in to be part of On Pit Road Racing. So that's what we got there, Johnny.
All righty.
If we shall move on to the next thing there, and we've got race and weather. They're going to Bristol this weekend, Johnny.
Bristol, and it is
cold,
wet, and it ain't looking good.
Well, tell them all about it.
Well, Friday is going to be cold and wet, 60% chance of rain. Saturday, cool and wet, 50% chance of rain. Sunday, cool and wet, 50% chance of rain. The highs would be on average from around 59 to 67 to the lows about 39 to 49. So usually my general rule of thumb is if it's above 30%, it's happening.
It could be raining. Bring the rain tires out. NHR, Indy, and F1 are all off this week. They've got the weekend, and the racing weather is brought to you by our good friends at Woods Family Sandwiches. 931 Pacific, 91 Pacifica, Suite 106, Las Vegas, Henderson. More information about catering and all the details on the World Wide Web at WFSandwiches.com out there. All righty. Hey man, you know they're racing around. Shall we take a look at the National Series and what's going on around the track?
Sure thing, absolutely.
While
everything is off this weekend, they are going to be going back next weekend. F1 will be heading to the Australian Grand Prix live at Albert Park, March 22nd through the 24th of 2024. ESPN will have the coverage. While on the subject of F1, tickets went on sale today for all the Amex priority ticket buyers, if you will. Tickets are on sale today. They'll be heading back November 21st through the 23rd, I think it is. 21st.
You got it exactly right.
Yeah, there you go.
NHRA is back in action for you March 21st through the 24th. There'll be the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals at the In-N-Out Burger Panoma Dragway. NHRA returns back to Las Vegas Forward Wide April 12th through the 14th of the Strip, and you get tickets at lvms.com, nhra.com, and Fox FS1 has all the coverage for you, and nhra.com will have the live radio broadcast. Okay.
IndyCar, the Thermal $1 million challenge. That's going to be on March 24th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be on NBC. and on the Peacock channel as well.
I looked at this information up. They didn't put it's a track in California that they're going to race, but they didn't say what track it was.
Must be brand new. They kept it a mystery for us. That's a first for the series.
World of Outlaws for you. The NOS Energy Series back in action March 15th. Going to do the Texas two-step at the Cotton Bowl Speedway, Page, Texas. March 16th, the World of Outlaws has a double header there for you. And, of course, the Cage Construction Series is back in action coming up in just about 2 weeks. NASCAR action for you, Johnny?
All right. So ARCA's going to be kind of dormant for a little bit, but they'll be back at Talladega for the General Tire 200. That's going to be on Saturday, April the 20th.
There you go. Looking good right there. NASCAR is back in action for the trucks. They'll be at Bristol this weekend, 8 p.m. for a green flag start. FS1 MRN will have the call for you.
And Xfinity, they're going to be off this week, but they'll be back on Saturday, March the 23rd for the Focus Health 250 at the Circuit of the Americas. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. FS1 will have the coverage for that. Let's see what SVG can really do up there.
Yeah, you got it. And of course, this weekend coming up, March 17th, the Food City 500 is the dirt is off to the track, back to straight concrete at Bristol Motor Speedway. Green flag falls at 3:30 p.m. Fox and PRN will have the coverage. It's going to be the last race before they shift everything over to FS1, okay.
FS1.
NASCAR returns back to Las Vegas, South Point 400 Friday, October 18th through Sunday the 20th. They'll be racing ARCA Series at the Bull Ring Friday night, Xfinity Saturday, and of course the Cup working on Sunday. Take a quick break. We'll come back and talk some motorcycle racing. How about it, Johnny?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Alan and Johnny in here for you on Pit Road Racing. We're doing it on a Wednesday edition here, and we're coming back right after this at the WCOBM, everybody.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Well, I'm not but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Pretty good out there. 15 minutes after the hour on a Wednesday afternoon on Pit Road Racing live at the WCOBM. Alan Michaels on the right-hand side. My good friend Johnny Spalatro sitting in for us today here. And just kicking back, man, relaxing on a Wednesday. Johnny, we got some motorcycle racing news. The segment brought to you by the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. Celebrating and preserving the memories of the great motorcycle racers and the motorcycle industry icons, past and present. If you need some more information about it, log on to the World Wide Web at hotshoehof.com. Johnny, the latest in motorcycle action for me.
All right, motorcycle racing news coming at you. The Monster Energy AMA Supercross racing results from round 9 of 17. For the 450 E Series, Jet Lawrence somehow snuck through the first turn in the lead, which spelled trouble for the whole rest of the 450 field. Lawrence led wire to wire in complete domination for the 4th win of the year, the only rider this year to win 2 races in a row. This victory further extends his points lead over Cooper Webb to 13. Cooper Webb nearly had the whole shot, but Lawrence just pulled a slipstream on them and just snuck right by. The Star Racing Yamaha rider stayed nearly just a few seconds behind the leader, but just couldn't quite close it down. Just couldn't get it down. But he did get another podium finish. But he's still within the championship fight. So we'll see how that goes. Ken Roskin made his way onto the podium with a 3rd place finish. Good for that old buck.
Yeah, the old Suzuki rider right there, man.
Yep, started just outside the top 5, but made up time on both Sexton and Justin Cooper with passes late in the race. Roskin was looking pretty good, just like the old veteran would. Some technical conditions to log another podium finish in the 250 series. Jeremy Martin may be credited with the whole shot, but it was last week's winner Tom Vial who overtook the lead early on lap 1. The French rider rode to his 2nd victory win in as many weeks with a wire-to-wire finish. He's got 2 back-to-back wins, and Vial now takes the point lead by just 1 smackaroo over Cameron McAdoo. So those are the top 2. Seth Hamaker is up in 3rd place. So those are both Kawasaki guys in 2nd and 3rd. Up next for the series, they're going to be heading off to the Indianapolis this Saturday, actually.
Yeah, they're racing this weekend. They certainly are. What is it in there? I was trying to think of that stadium that they race in there. But anyhow, Indianapolis.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
Lucas Oil Stadium. So that's where they're going. Hey, Speedway Motorcycle Action is geared up, Johnny, and they've got the first rounds in. But here's what's coming up. We got racing at Bakersfield this weekend, March 16th. Practice at Paris Raceway is going to kick in on March 20th. You get one more round of practice at Paris Raceway on April 3rd. We're back racing at Bakersfield on the 6th. The opener for Paris is going to be April 20th. You got Fast Friday's opener on May 10th. We got the big championship, the Patrick Luhad Spring Classic, man, at Action Park East. And Industry Hills also opens up their season on May 21st. Real quickly, the 2024 season opener, Johnny, you've got it from the Progressive American Flat Track Series.
Absolutely. Brandon Robinson on his Indian FTR 750 picking up the win in the season opener. Sammy Halbert taking his Harley Davidson XR 750, put it into the 2nd spot, while the Yamaha MT-07 that Alice Daniels was riding wrapped up the top 3, which is greatly excited racing in Florida. The series moves on to the Sonoya Raceway, which is the home of Andrew Bubba Pollard.
There you go.
He's going to be making his Xfinity debut for Dale Jr. in Richmond, but that's later on.
Well, that's right.
That series will be heading off to March 23rd next Saturday.
There you go. Segment brought to you by our kids at the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, celebrating and preserving the memories of the great motorcycle racers and motorcycle industry's icons past and present. For more information about it, log on to the World Wide Web at hotshoehof.com. Ticker's rolling right at the bottom of the screen, and you can do that. Johnny, I'll get you ready to roll. The segment here for F1 Racing News is brought to you by our good friends at Atlanta Motorsports Park, our partners. For more information, 678-381-8527, or you can log on to the World Wide Web at Atlanta Motorsports Park.com. And boy, I'll tell you one thing, Red Bull and Verstappen is just rocking, Johnny. I just don't know what to say.
Hey, you may well throw Ocheco in there as well. That's the second 1-2 that the pair of those put together. Verstappen led it from wire to wire, completely dominated, waxed the field. Charles Leclerc for the Prancing Horses finished in 3rd. He had a pretty solid race. Shouts to Ollie Bierman, who replaced Carlos Sainz at the very last minute. Had a little bit of an appendectomy to kind of take care of. Difficult situation for him. Got driver of the day. Finished a respectable 7th place in the points chase. And really just drove the perfect race. I felt like all the eyes were on him. He kept his nose clean. He made the easy passes. Didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. Backed the Brits. Led that charge. He was able to beat out Lando, George, and Lewis. Bravo, Ollie Bierman.
And
the real MVP.
And another kicker, he got a podium that flew back to the States, and he actually won up this past weekend up at the Skip Barber School of Racing. So this kid is,
This kid can wheel. I mean, I've been reading the news all morning, and they're talking about him, Andrea Antonelli, and Liam Lawson as like the next big three once that could challenge Maxton, Charles, and Lando. So
do you really think that this move is going to happen next year with Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes and moving over to Ferrari? I mean, is Hamilton still in the shape that he was in? I mean, 7 championships, but it's been a while. He's had a couple of rough seasons, and the Mercedes just hasn't performed the way it had been performing. I don't see a big move. I mean, I really don't see a big move with Ferrari. I just don't know, Johnny. Do you think that
it's going to have to be a patient game? I mean, Red Bull's going to switch to Ford officially in 2026. So Ferrari and Mercedes, they kind of have to weather the storm a little bit. They do bring on upgrades a little bit of the year, so time will tell with that. I mean, is it a little bit of a move for Lewis? Yeah, because it's always been a dream of his to race in the prancing horse. But that said, the Ferrari's still pretty competitive. I feel like I think Mercedes, like I mentioned last week, they're kind of going into kind of like a rebuild mode,
right,
a little bit. But the thing is with F1, it's a lot that has to do with the machinery in the car as it does, with the driver and such like that. So I think it's just one of those things where you're just gonna have to wait and see and just kind of throw your hands up and say time will tell.
We'll have to see if Ferrari can get it together good enough performance-wise from their cars for Lewis Hamilton to strike the way he wants to strike. And I mean, that he wants to come out of the hole next year as a winner. He don't want to finish 7th or 8th or 9th. He's out for the win. So
the thing that's motivating him most is like that 8th championship that was ripped away from him in 2021.
Yeah,
that's the thing that's like keeping his gears grinding.
I just find it wild that, that you made that the Ford's coming back in 2026, and then F1 is having such a problem with Michael Andretti wanting to use American Cadillac power.
Weird.
Or
Weird.
It doesn't seem right to the point to where, one team wants to change a manufacturer on a motor while another team is trying to get into the series. And basically, I mean, yeah, there's a difference between the GM and the Ford products, obviously, but it's still an American-made product. And they're just having a tough time with this whole thing. I just think that they need to relax. I've heard rumors when F1 was here. I heard rumors that the drivers weren't happy about it because with 10 teams, 2 drivers a pop, 20 guys on the track, if they add 2 more, then the purse money goes down. So the drivers aren't happy because if 2 more teams come into it, then there's less money to be won.
Well, here's the thing that the drivers don't understand. Where you go. Whether it be IndyCar, whether it be NASCAR, which we'll get into in a little bit, whether it be F1, the stock of that series is going to go up.
Right.
I mean, will the prize money be diluted initially? Yeah, but that value of the whole series is just gonna increase a lot. You're gonna have more eyes on it. You're gonna have more corporate partners that are gonna be for Andretti, that are gonna be against Andretti. You're gonna have like that monopoly a little bit. So on the surface, it may seem like the prize money is going to be diluted. It's actually going to be inflated,
right,
a little bit. More money is going to pour in. More corporate partners from all over the world are going to back these teams up because now they have something. Now they have something that's going to kind of catch their eye a little bit, and that's kind of what you kind of saw with Ford kind of coming back into F1 once again, albeit with Red Bull. The more eyeballs you're going to get on it, the more attention you're going to get. And the more attention you're going to get, the more money's going to flow.
And there's still this deal working out about F1 buying MotoGP and buying the GP series out there. Liberty, with the Liberty Network that actually owns all the rights to F1. And they're looking to buy this company called Darnell, who owns the rights to F1. So they're talking about a $70 billion deal here. Mm-hmm. And if they would pull this deal off to where F1 now has got that series and then pulls the GP series in, then because the GP series not only has the American version of it, they got the European version of it, combining them all 3 together under one big umbrella. And then if you let the Andrettis in, You let this go. It's like you said, everything is just like the stock market. And all of a sudden, the big one hits on the market and everybody's wanting to buy, buddy. And I think that's what you get. Let him in.
Let him in.
Let him in.
And if they won't, NASCAR will, and it's their loss.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into that in a little bit.
We'll get into it in just a couple of minutes. On Pit Road Racing, live here at the WCOBM. Alan Michaels to the right side. Johnny Spilatro, my special guest host today. We're sitting in here for us doing our Wednesday edition all the way up until 5 o'clock, about halfway through it. IndyCar season coming back into, man, we opened up in St. Petersburg and brought to you by our good friends at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Log on to AtlantaMotorsports.com, and it was the season over, and it was Penske buddy Joseph Newgarden. You got the story.
Yeah, business as usual for good old Joey Newgarden. The two-time IndyCar champion, won the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. He drove of the two PPG Penske Chevrolet, won by a near 8-second victory over the Arrow McLaren Chevrolet of Pato O'Ward, who's also been flirting with an F1 ride, by the way.
I've heard that too. I've heard that coming in.
Yeah. Team Penske won 5 races last year, but just one outside of an oval. Scott McLaughlin's victory on the natural road course was at Barber Motorsports Park. The victory Sunday was the pinnacle of an outstanding weekend for Team Penske. At the street circuit, McLaughlin finished third in his number 3 Dex Imaging Chevrolet, while the 2-time series champion Will Power finished 4th in the number 12 Verizon in Chevrolet. And Colton Herta rounded up the top 5. I really like this kid.
I like this kid too.
I really do. If he could just mentally just put everything together, a complete race weekend and just not make the many mistakes, he's a superstar. He could be a 3 sports superstar, or just like Andretti did.
I think I watched this kid, and this kid can move that car around. He does things with that car that I haven't seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
And Gene actually told me, he said, man, go back and watch some films of his dad and watch his dad's driving style and watch Colton's driving style. They're really something similar, the way they drove it. But the kid's got no fear, that's for sure. I mean, I watched him do some things in Iowa last year in an IndyCar, and that little under a mile track. Iowa's 3/4, not quite a mile.
Yeah.
And he was zinging that thing around there, pulling some stuff from the low groove to the high groove, and then whip it back to the middle groove. It was unreal to watch. The kid's got no fear, and like you said, he's just
his car control is unreal. I mean, he's just like his dad. My dad told me about his dad. They actually knew each other back in the day. So a little bit of a similar lineage between us two and the Herta folks. But I'm rooting for him to be a really big superstar. Just he's got to put it together on a consistent basis. And if he does that, sky's the limit.
I mean, he's going to win, and he's going to win a lot. That's for sure. This round brought to you by our good friends at the Atlanta Motorsports Park. Once again, it is the condominium, the country club of Motorsports Park down there in, you know where they're at? They're down there in Elliott territory, man, in Dawsonville, Georgia is right where they're at. More information about Jeremy and the guys down there at AtlantaMotorsports.com. All right. If you'll give the tag here, and we'll move right on along with this thing. You're watching On Pit Road Racing, halfway through, about 28 minutes after the hour on a Wednesday, everybody. Johnny?
All right, sure thing. NHRA news and updates. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Hammered Harry's Resort at 450 Fremont Street. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Their website is www.hammeredharrys.com/Fremont Street. Great food, fun times. They always say, have a free shot out to ketchup. So
there you go.
Save one for scratch. All right.
Save a shot for scratch. Teammate Sean Langan and J.R. Todd won the Nitro categories to secure Coletta Motorsports their first double, and we're joined at the Amiga Motorsports NHRA Gator Nationals and winner's circles by Erica Enders and Gage Herrera. Here's how they lined them up for you in the top fuel in the final round, man. It was Sean Langdon with a pass at 335.40 going against Billy Torrance, man. The dad. That's right. The daddy was sitting in that rocket right there. 228.50. Sean Langdon takes the winner. It takes the winner in the top fuel category. Funny car for you, man. Austin Prock making his first start in it, but he couldn't hold off J.R. Todd at 329.10 miles an hour. Prock must have had something wrong with the car, but he's only topped out at 145.03. And, man, I'll tell you, she is setting the fire up, man, with 6 championships, looking for her 7th. Erica Enders in that brand-new car, 211.93 miles an hour. She beat out Kristen Kadrua, 39.84. So that had to have blown up, man. I mean, it was. And you talk about Max Verstappen. And Gage Herrera, this kid just totally destroys the pro stock motorcycle division. Johnny, last year, I think he won 15 events last year. No one close to him at all. It was a runaway for the points lead in that division. But old Matt Smith, man, he tried to hang in with Gage at the Gator Nationals, but couldn't do it because it was a 204.39 against a 200.83. Gage Herrera kicks off the 2024 season from the Missions drag racing circuit. It's just another win, man. Just another win. So I don't know how many in a row that 18, 19. It's got to be like 19 or 20 wins in a row for him.
I'll have to check him out myself when I attend the NHRA 4 wides.
It's
in a couple weeks. That's a bucket list item for me.
Oh yeah, have you seen it yet?
I have not. So that's why I gotta go.
Gracious. We gotta get you. I got hooked up. You tell your dad to give me a call, and I think I might be able to squeeze you down. And we get just about 30 feet away from when all 4 nitros go off. And I'm going to tell you, you talk about something that will shake you. 11,000 horsepower times 4.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm serious.
Hey, our old buddy Antron Brown, man, he got a big payday. Johnny down at the Pep Boys NHRA Top Fuel All-Star call-out. Antron Brown collected 80 grand, man. That's right, $80,000 to win it. He beat Brittany Forrest out in the final round for the showdown. And, man, I'm just a good old Antron's back, man. Great guy. Great guy. If you ever get a chance when you're down there, stop by his pit because he is one of the nicest guys that you'd ever want to talk to. He really is.
I've heard nothing but good things about him, too, myself. And I know he's been around for quite a bit, and he's still killing the game, it seems like.
It seems like, and his kids are coming up, man. His kids are coming up, and it started off at junior dragsters, and I believe his oldest son is moving to an alcohol dragster this year. But the Brown family, you can bet that 80 grand will go back into the race team. That's for sure.
Bet.
All right. Segment brought to you by our good friends at Hammer and Harry's, 450 Fremont Street. Open daily from 11 to 10 p.m. Great food, fun times, and they always got a free shot of ketchup for you. That's what they got there. I'm telling you. All righty. Looking good. Hey, let's take us a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk some dirt races, some NASCAR. How about it?
Awesome.
We'll do it. You're looking at it right here on Pit Road Racing live at the WCOB. I'm Johnny in with me today, and we'll be back right after this, everybody.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Come on! What the yeah! Oh man! Woo! That is awesome!
Kia. Movement that inspires.
That's old Jerry B right there, man.
Gotta love Jerry B. Gotta love him. He's a wild man.
Did you go back and see some of the YouTube stuff? He is a nut.
It blew my mind.
I mean,
it blew my mind. He's got more stones than I do. Let me tell you.
I'm going to tell you, so anybody that would lay out on a motorcycle dirt track underneath a jump and let like 5 of these guys start singing motorcycles over the top of him, he hadn't have lost his mind. That's all I can say. He had to lost his mind. It really did. I don't know.
Yep.
Anyhow, on pit road racing, second half hour here for you, 35 minutes after the hour on a Wednesday afternoon. Don't forget, we do this each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Scratch with a K joins me live from Daytona Beach on Mondays and Fridays. He's a nut too.
Tell Scratch I said what's up. Let's be nutty together.
Okay. You do another show and you'll turn into a nut like the rest of us. All right.
Like I said, when you get into this sport, you have to have one loose nut somehow. But anyway, we're going to take it to the dirt.
All right.
This segment's brought to you by Gene Woods Racing Experience right here on 450 Fremont Street at Neonopolis. Las Vegas' only true indoor drift track. It's where I train on a regular basis. More info, you could give us a call at 702-270-8100 or go to gokartslasvegas.com.
There you go. The NOS Energy Drink Series, man, is going to be focused to the Cotton Bowl Speedway. The Texas Two-Step is coming up this weekend for you. It's been just a tough season for them. It really has. They got started down in Volusia County, man, a couple of weeks right before Daytona got stick on their way. They got a weekend of racing in there. Then they got rained out. And then they got back at it again. And since then, they've been rained out every single weekend. I mean, it's just unbelievably currently crazy down there. But anyhow, the series is now going to be shifting down to March 15th and 16th. It's called the Texas Two-Step. It's at the Cotton Bowl Speedway. Tickets are available for you, man. You can log on to theworldofoutlaws.com. David Gravel currently leads the standings by 12 markers over Donnie Schultz and Giovanni Salzizi, who are tied for a second. If you can get more action every lap live on Dirt TV Vision, that's where you're going to be. And the Outlaws Case Construction Series back up at Thunder Hill Raceway. They've got a doubleheader coming up on March 22nd and 23rd. Segment brought to you by the good friends of Gene Woods Racing Experience, 450 Fremont Street, Las Vegas' only true indoor drift track. More information at 702-270-8100 or log on to gokartslasvegas.com. Well, Johnny, man, I'll tell you, our buddy Kyle Keller and the Kenley boys all tried to get things moving from Madeira, and you've got the story of what happened in the ARCA racing at Phoenix this past week.
Yeah, that particular team definitely had bit of a rough go. Unfortunately, it was the first team for that outfit. They even had Danica Dart on Sable. I think she got into a little bit of a rough go. I think she got taken out through no fault of her own. So yeah, first race out of that team for the Madeira outfit. It kind of kicked things off for them. They kind of had an 18th and a 22nd place finish. A little bit of a rough start for them. But I want to give a huge shout out to our friends over at GMS and at Sigma Performance Services. Joe Farre sponsored our series for quite a real long time. He's taken his ventures over to ARCA in a collaboration with TJ Clark and Chris Bray. They brought Granny and Finger on board, and him and Joe were pretty stout in that particular race. I think Granny and Finger finished third in there.
Yeah, sure did.
And we got some ladies that really showed up and showed out, didn't they?
I was really surprised out of this. 4 ladies into the event, Johnny, and Isabella Robusto, the rookie, finished 6th in there. Tony Bredinger, man, we've had Tony on the show. I actually got to see Tony race the first time. She was running what was it? The Outlaws at the Bull Ring, not on the dirt, but she ran the road courses with the Outlaw cars.
I ran against her a couple times. I think both Scotty and I have, and she's impressed.
Yeah,
she's done really well. She finished 9th in this race, so that's a really solid result for her.
The veteran of the season, Amber Balkin. Is it Balkin?
Yeah.
Balkin. She finished 15th in there, but she's the veteran of the season. And of course, Danica Dart teaming up with the Keller Racing Group, and those guys had a rough on the rookies. Finished 40th on that. And I believe you're right. I think she got taken out on the first couple of laps.
Through no fault of her own. So. So bit of a bummer, but the top 5 are William Stawalwich, Joe Gibbs Racing driver, Gio Ruggiero, another Joe Gibbs Racing driver. Granny and Finger brought it home for the Sigma SPS boys. Connor Mozak finished 4th. and Sean Hingorani finished fifth. 4 rookies in the top 5. So
they're all rookies in the series. That's just unbelievable. But the 4 rookies in the top 5, Enfinger really the only one that's got some time to it. That is, and of course Keller finished up in 18th in the number 70 ride, and Robbie Kennelly finished 22nd in his number 1. But the 4 girls with a great showing. Yeah, you got to tip the helmet to them, Johnny. They're hanging in there. They're doing the work. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you got to tip it to them. I like it.
Yeah, they're putting it to us guys. So it's really awesome to see.
Check out some NASCAR headlines. This segment brought to you by our good friends of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tickets and more information at lvms.com. And, of course, the South Point 400, all coming up next in October. Johnny, you got the current standings in the points, man. And, buddy, you can't knock all Rajah Caruth, man. I'm telling you, this kid is on a roll, man.
Yeah, we'll see what he does this weekend at Bristol, I think. So Rajah Caruth is currently leading the points with a win. Nick Sanchez is right behind him. Tyler Ankram's having a really solid run. I mean, he's leading the overall standings and with the Bill McAnally group. Ty Majeski is 5 points behind. Next behind him is Corey Heim for Tricon Garage. Taylor Gray is right behind them, 30 points back. Matt Crafton still competing after all these years.
Scratch and I talked about this on Monday, John, and you brought that in. This guy has been happy with where he's at in the truck series. I know that he's run a couple of Xfinities and things like that, but he's never been the big guy that's ever wanted to jump full time to Xfinity. I've interviewed him and he said he's just never had any interest in driving in the Cup series. It just wasn't his thing. But that old number 88, Menard's machine out there, it just keeps rocking and rolling. Crafton sitting 7th. He's 39 back out of the lead right now, Johnny.
Yeah, you got Brett Holmes right behind them at 44 points back. Christian Eckes is back at 48, 8 points back. And same thing with Grant Enfinger.
And a new team this year, of course.
A new team for him.
That Daniel Dyes with the new team this year. Grant Enfinger with the new team this year. That's really quick. I don't know if you've ever caught this guy racing Butterbean Queen, Johnny. He's a real good kid from Virginia, man. I've seen him run a couple of times back ran at Langley Speedways. Well, he's done some stuff down at Bowman Gray. But anyhow, man, he's going to get a shot here. He's going to get a shot at TRD Pro Racing, and he's going to get a shot to get it with the Craftsman Truck Series. He's going to debut at North Wilkesboro. He's going to be behind the number 1 Toyota Tundra for TR Pro, man. So the Chesapeake, Virginia kid, man.
Yeah, I've followed this driver for a lot of years. He Cars Tour regular, definitely had a breakout year with Polium Performance. He earned 4 wins, 13 top 5s, and 15 top 10s in Cars Tour or Championship. Really shocked that he only finished second place in the point standings, and it was a close battle between him and Carson Quapple. Let me tell you. Beyond the Cars Tour, he's also ran some dirt. He captured his second Hampton Heat triumph at Langley East Speedway, and he's scored victories in the Battle of the Stars at All-American Speedway and the Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National. I mean, he's been all around the Southeast, late model, stock pro, late model, super late model, dirt late model, modified, you name it, he'll hop in it and just wheel it. So the Tricon Garage guys, they may have a good one that they may want to keep long term.
I think so too. This kid, we've watched him. We had him on the show a couple of years ago, and he is definitely somebody to watch out there. Just really quick, Preston Pardis is going to be running a partial Xfinity schedule throughout the 2024 season. Pardis has competed in 23 Xfinity races since 2019, including a road course where he had a trio of a top 10 finish, including his best result at Charlotte Motor Speedway's Royal Oval back in 2021. In 4 starts during the 2023 season, his best effort was the 12th in the inaugural Chicago Street Race. So that's what we got going on for that. And did you also notice, too, that I saw this one in? They all started raising heck about the beer companies and the smoke companies and the liquor companies and everything else. Well, they've obviously relaxed it because coming down in Darlington, man, Crown Royal will be the prime sponsor, buddy. Bring on the Crown Royal. It's something. Xfinity. Did you get to the page where we got Xfinity? Did we get it? Or are we ahead of ourselves? There we are. Xfinity.
Yeah. But we'll kick off the results. So for the first time with Joe Gibbs Racing, we knew this was coming for a long time. Chandler Smith won on the call811.com 200 at Phoenix. Second career victory. Smith led a race high 88 laps, including every lap on the opening stage en route to the stage win. Justin Allgaier blew a left rear tire. I think that's the second week in a row he's had that problem, which is a bummer for him in that team. He had it with 5 laps remaining. He was credited with a 29th place result. So Jesse Loves of Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, and General Cole Custer rounded up the top
General
5.
Cole, man.
Shane Van Gisbergen finished 6th, so not a bad run for the Kiwi. But he's got to put some more runs together, just kind of stringing it together, prove to everybody he's the real deal, and I think he can. Brandon Jones, Parker Kligerman, Sammy Smith, and Anthony Fettuccine Alfredo.
I like Anthony, man.
Yeah. He rounded out the top 10. So 7 lead changes among 4 drivers and 6 cautions for about 43 yellow flag laps. Average speed was about 92, 93 miles an hour.
There you go, man. And the standings as it stands right now, Chandler Smith up with 183 points. He's in and locked in. Just Austin Hill's locked in with 2 wins. Then you got the General Cole Custer, man, sitting in third, 33 points back. Las Vegas native Riley Herbst in there, standing currently 4th, 146. He's 37 back. Jesse Love making that move over to Richard Childress Racing in that number 2 Chevrolet. He's sitting back 48 points back in the 5th spot. Then you got Sheldon Creed, who sits in 6th. It's pretty cool that if you sort of look at this, Sheldon Creed leaves Richard Childress Racing, go to Joe Gibbs, and they're sort of flat. Both of them, I mean, it's just sort of weird how that this all sort of weirded out that Love takes Creed's car, has a good run with it. Creed was having a tough season, gets into Gibbs's car, and it's got a top 10 finish, and is sitting 53 points back. So
I think that's going to be a storyline between Creed and Childress for a really long time. There was some bad blood between how those two separated. And speaking of Gibbs and Toyota, if you thought that they were done undominating and coming up with big news, you didn't pay attention to Sunday, because Christopher Bell, C-Bell, won on the Shriners Children's 500 at Phoenix this year. First win of the year, first at Phoenix, and 7th career win. And here's a funny stat. All the Gibbs cars led 50 or more laps in that race.
Okay.
So the Toyotas definitely served up notice.
Right, they're here.
They're there. So Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, who was another front runner, Brad Kay, Ryan Blaney, Mellon Man, Ross Chastain, Martin Truex, Michael McDowell, Chase Briscoe, and Tyler Reddick rounded out the top 10. So pole winner Denny Hamlin just led only about 13 laps on the day before finishing 11th. Stage 1 was won by Tyler Reddick. Stage 2 was won by Christopher Bell. So basically Toyota showed up that day.
They came to race.
They came to race, and they basically served up notice.
Average speed of the race, 103.566 miles an hour. Current standings. And boy, this got scratch aggravated. This just aggravated him to death on this, because he said it should have happened last week here before my headset falls off. Anyhow, standing up on top, Kyle Larson with the win, 141 points. Then it's William Byron and the number 24 for Hendrick. He sits back with a win, locked in. Daniel Suarez is locked in. He stands in third, 114 back. Then we got Bell, who just popped up wins. So 4 races, 4 winners. We got 3 Chevys and a Toyota. Ford yet to hit the winner's circle, 102 back. Now here's where this just got scratch aggravated. You said this should have happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
How could Ryan Blaney, who had won, who had done this, had done that, was sitting back, and he's still 5th in the points. He's 5th in the driver's standings, but he leads the points.
Just with how the rules are and how those brackets in, because the regular series standings still kind of matters to these guys,
right?
Because if you're at the top of the regular season standings, you get 15 playoff points added to your bucket. So you don't even have to win and be top of the regular season standings. You get an automatic bid. But even then, points should still matter throughout the whole rest of the season. So
he's just furious about it. He's furious. Anyhow, Tyler Reddick, I'm telling you, watch Tyler Reddick right here in Las Vegas. He's had a couple of good weeks, man. I'm telling you, if he'd ran that high line, I think if he'd have had 5 more laps here in Las Vegas and ran that high line, he'd have caught Kyle Larson. But once the white flag dropped and Reddick dropped down to try to match him up on the low groove, Larson's car was just too hot, too fast, too quick. There was nothing. It was all said and done. Stick a fork in, he was toast. Pride.
Yeah, how about Ty Gibbs? I mean, what an improvement this kid made. I mean, you kind of saw it come on the end of last year, but he's really put it all together this year. He may get a win or two before the year is up.
Watermelon Chastain. Then you got Denny Hamlin still whining and crying the blues. I don't know. I don't know, Denny. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
I mean, he beat our favorite driver this week, right? Hey, love him or hate him, you got to admit. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, he's got it. Chase Elliott, man. Chase not, rumors are flying that he could be out at Hendrick after next year. I heard that he is not getting along with Mr. H and the big people over there. That's
and I personally would encourage him to look for other options. Not gonna lie.
Where do you think you ought to go?
Well, I know Tony would love to have him. I don't think Penske would mind to have him. I think Roush might love to have him. RCR might love to have him. Once he goes into free agency, he's going to be the hottest driver on the market.
I agree with you. What 4 or 5 time driver of the year? Replaced
won a championship.
Yeah.
Capable of beating out Kyle Larson. He did that for 2 years in a row after he won his championship. So we know he's good. It's just something's going on in that camp, man. It really is.
Kyle Busch sitting in 12th position. Will Kyle Busch win this year?
I hope he does.
Okay.
He came close at Atlanta. He kind of screwed himself over here in Vegas. Came close at Daytona.
Not a good run at Phoenix.
Not a good run at Phoenix, but he's going to Bristol, and he loves Bristol.
He does love Bristol.
It reminds him a lot like the old Bullring here.
Right.
So
Alex Bowman for Hendrick. Then you got Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, and Chris Buescher round out the top 16 drivers currently running for the shot at the title. Buescher in the 16 spot, 65 points back.
Buescher had a great run, and he needed that because to the start of the year, that Roush team was just not. It didn't look like they were going to get anywhere. So hopefully they could build upon this because he had a phenomenal year last year.
And actually, Brad Casenot had a couple of good runs this year. That number six machine seems to be firing up. We'll see what we know. Now we're heading to Bristol this weekend, where it's nothing. There's no aerodynamics to this track. There is nothing to it. It's just nothing more than straight raw power and set the car up right. And this should be interesting because there's no more dirt. All right, I gotta chomp on this one with you, man. Yeah, NASCAR President Steve Phelps says that he's in talk with NBC Sports about putting a race at Dodger Stadium.
I really don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. Why tear up a ballpark? Why tear up a Coliseum? Irwindale is there. Kern is there. If it's the grandstands, put more grandstands around it. If it's the safer barriers, put more safer barriers around it. Either one of those two tracks. It's going to cost them less money to do that than to tear apart Fontana or repurpose it into a short track, if that's ever going to happen, or tear apart iconic sports stadiums and turn them into artificial racetracks. They are multi-purpose sites. I mean, I get it, but it's not built for this.
Right.
Leave the two sports, separate. As a sports fan and as a race fan, please, Steve Phelps, for the love of everything that sports fans love, whether you're with NASCAR or you're not with NASCAR, leave it alone.
Yep.
Leave it alone.
I mean, what is next? Are we gonna gut Talladega Speedway and put the Super Bowl there? I mean, we know that they did college football over at Bristol. And you and I talked about this, and the reason why they did it is that Bristol at that time destroyed the infield, their garage area, and was planning on rebuilding anyhow. So they knocked it down, so they had an opportunity to put the football field there. Now, I don't think that Marcus Smith and the people at SMI are going to destroy a perfectly good garage area just for 1 or 2 days, one night for a football game again.
Absolutely not. I
just see this. I saw the artist rendition of what this thing would look like. And it's basically a mini Pocono, one super big long straightaway, a quick short turn, then back around. I mean, at the Coliseum, Johnny, they're only running 50, 55 miles an hour top speed there. They're not going to get any speed.
Can't really pass there.
Yeah, I mean,
the track is so narrow. But Phelps said he's going to be committed to the market. He also says it's important what looks like at this point next year. I don't know. Was there an exploration with the Dodgers working with Formula E and creating a potential joint opportunity there? Listen, if you want to commit to the LA market and get your fan base back, do what Big Bill did. Do what got NASCAR to the pinnacle. Bring it to the actual local short tracks. Run them in conjunction with a few local divisions if you have to. That way you could get some of the local drivers a little bit of that aura. And if you can't, that's fine. If you want to put them in the single weekend, that's fine. Just put them at the short track.
Yeah.
Put them at the short tracks.
There's so many. There's Rockingham. There's North Wilkesboro. They did the All-Star race there last year. At the end of the event, Johnny, first of all, the darn thing sold out. There wasn't a ticket available, a seat available. There wasn't a hamburger, a hot dog, a Coca-Cola, a cold beer, a T-shirt, a hat, anything. They ate that stuff to have racing back into Wilkesboro area. You got Rockingham sitting down there. Like you said, you got Kern County down here. We got all these tracks. If they want to stay in the California market, there's plenty of places to take it to, But to sit here and go, I'm going to go tear up Dodger Stadium for one night. You're going to spend a week, 2 weeks work to get the thing ready to go because you got to tear it all up. You're going to lay asphalt down on the thing, tar, whatever. No. Take racing where racing's supposed to be, at the racetrack. Baseball is played at the ballpark. You don't need to destroy Dodger Stadium to put NASCAR there.
And I can tell you this: I don't think Dodger fans will like that either.
Oh, I can see.
I already know that. And while we're on the subject of dirt, I mean, they made the same mistake with Eldora. I mean, they had a perfectly good thing going with the prelude to the Dream and to the trucks.
Yeah.
And then they decided to kind of take it all to Bristol and just kill off Eldora completely. I mean, that made Tony Stewart very unhappy, and understandably so, because you actually have a good product at Eldora to where you can actually bring good racing from a high level series,
right,
pinnacle of motorsport, to a small town track. And everybody would go bananas over it.
Yeah, it's a win for everybody. It's a win for the local market there. It's a win for the local businesses there. If you got a pizzeria, a restaurant, a good time tavern, whatever it might be, hotels in the area, everybody's going to benefit off of this.
Yeah.
I just think that you're out there reaching for the stars and your hands are too far away from the stars. It's not even, I just don't see this as I said it. Baseball belongs in baseball. Racing belongs at the racetrack.
A Cup Series race at a small town like Eldora is going to be as big as it was for us hosting the Super Bowl this year. Everybody's going to be busy. Everybody's going to be packed, and it's going to drive up revenue for everybody.
I don't know how much money Stewart spent. Millions on this place, millions of dollars to revamp this thing, and I mean,
it's a phenomenal facility too.
It's I mean, I remember Eldora. I lived in Ohio. I remember Eldora. I remember it ran down into a piece of junk.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony got in there with his people and his partners, and he did it right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
still doing it right.
And if you want to look at doing it on something in Dirk, if you want to go there, I don't know how the World of Outlaws would figure out, but in Knoxville, Ohio, I mean, Gene Woods told me this. He went out there 2 years ago and watched the Outlaws run the Nas Energy Series. He said one of the most groomed, beautiful race facilities that you'd ever want to see is this track. And I told him, I said, we got to go. I've got to see this thing. That, and this year, I'm going to meet Derek, our wives, and Derek Cope and I, we're going to Chili Bowl this year. He's always wanted to go I've been dying to see the Chili Bowl, so we're going to go down there and check that out. Also in the news, Steve Phelps said the charter. We talked about this originally. Remember, Bob Coffin put this all together. He was the big guy at Aaron's and everything else. He said, we're going to put this together. You're going to buy in, and when it's all said and done, we're going to lower the cost of motorsports, and we're going to lower the cost of racing.
They all say that.
He didn't lower the cost of nothing.
They all say that, and look what happened.
It's unbelievable. No more charters. Done. Out with the charters. Out. If you've got the money, if you've got the car, if it meets the specs, let them in.
Mm-hmm.
Honda, if they can build, I mean, let's face it. Now these cars, Johnny, you've been doing this long enough as a driver and putting cars together. Basically, the car in the middle is the same thing as the front and the back. It's different in the motor.
Mm-hmm.
So if Honda can put a product together, let Honda in. If Dodge can put a product together again, if they can work the deal out about either a Hemi motor or non-Hemi motor, but let them in.
Mm-hmm. Volkswagen, if you want to expand to the European market, if they could build a car to that spec, let them in too.
Ryan Vargas just signed a deal. Kid, we both know California kid, Las Vegas kid. He's running NASCAR Euro Series.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
which is huge, which is absolutely huge, because we've seen the European market tap into our territory. Now we got to tap into their territory somehow. So what Ryan's doing is going to be a great start to that. But like I mentioned last week, it's all going to be dependent on wherever the business model is gonna go for the sport, because it used to be all pony cars. You had the Camaro and the Mustang and the Super Camry, I guess, whatever Toyota's putting up. But now that the Camaro is going to be gone, where's that going to leave? Where's that going to leave Chevy? Where's that going to leave Ford? If they're going to go back to the old style sedan model back in the mid 2000s,
right,
with the Monte Carlo and the Fusion and all that,
right?
It's definitely feasible to let Honda and Volkswagen in there.
Dodge has got the Dart out, the new Dodge Dart. They've got the sport version of it out, which is basically nothing more than what the Toyota Supra is that they're running in the Xfinity series.
Mm-hmm.
Let them in. You want to get car count up. You want to get your crowds up. You got to get 40 cars in the field, and you got to make this and you got to make this financially. You got Hendrick, you got Gibbs, you got Hendrick, you got Gibbs, you got Stewart, you got RFK. Spire now is starting to catch up a little bit with their acquisitions on buying Kyle Busch's Xfinity or his truck teams and his equipment there.
But realistically, between the Cup Series, it's gonna be 28 teams that are going to be really competitive week in and week out.
So let them in. Let them in. I remember going to Martinsville, Johnny, and I know Buick is still around. They just don't have the production yard. But I remember Buick and Olds. I remember handsome Harry Gant, Rick Mask. Those guys all driving, the models that they did. And then I remember going to Martinsville. I remember going to Bristol, and there would be 50 to 55 cars trying to qualify. You'd have a round of qualifying on Friday. Then they would bring the second round in on Saturday before they'd either run the modifieds or back in the day, the Busch Grand National Series.
Right.
And there would be people that I just don't get it.
Anyway, so more racing news.
All right.
So we talked about Andretti earlier with the F1.
Right.
F1's kind of said no dice. There's a little to no chance that he may even get back into it. But he's all like, okay, if F1 ain't gonna take me, why not go back to NASCAR?
Yeah.
It's likely going to be more feasible since he's already tapped into the IMSA market with Wayne Taylor Racing.
Right.
So and Andretti's very familiar with the sport. Mario won the 67 Daytona 500. So he's considered a NASCAR legend.
Right.
So he has options with this. And we know Andretti we talked about this earlier. The name Andretti, it's going to be big for any racing series no matter where you go. It's already going to add value. Andretti's as big to Indy as Petty is to NASCAR is.
Correct.
Right? So wherever Andretti's going to go, the value is going to increase. And we talked earlier about how the purse in F1 is going to be diluted down a little bit if they added maybe four more cars and teams. Well, when you add something to it, it may look like it's going to be diluted down into it, but when you see a big name that everybody's going to draw their eyes to, the demand's going to want to come up. Supply and demand. It's got to be proportional. So the more eyes you have on a brand or a series, the more money's going to be rolling in. The more corporate brands are going to want to take a chance on these teams and back them. So.
And he's already got an inline with this Cambridge company who is now with Spire with Spire Motorsports. Yeah. Okay, so and I mean, F1, let him in. Let him bring the Cadillac power. You're going to move to Ford. They're going to have American power plants back into it in 2020, what, 2026?
2026, yeah.
You're going to have a Ford power. So what makes a difference if Ford power comes and GM power or Cadillac power comes? They're afraid of Andretti because they see what Andretti's doing with that Cadillac power in the IMSA. I'm telling you right now, that's what they're worried about. I think this whole cockamamie story about the purse money and all that, I don't know what an F1 driver makes, man. I mean, we know it's got to be 10 million or better.
It's more than a Cup Series driver,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Come on. I mean, let Andretti in. If he wants in, let him in. If he's got to pay the fees, if he's got to pay the registration for his teams, whatever it's got to be done. If he's got to have a certain amount of this or a certain amount of that, then let him in. If he can prove that he's got a car, a team that is compatible, that meets the regulations of F1, let him in.
Mm-hmm.
Let him in. That's all I got to say about it. It just upsets me. And this whole point thing and this get rid of this and get rid of this charter. Just get rid of it. It did not save people money. And people got to understand that this thing was, Coffin said that we're going to set this charter up and it's going to save all kinds of money. No, it didn't save money. The cost of putting a Cup team on the track has almost tripled since this thing has happened.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's the reason why Dale Jr. hasn't pulled the trigger on bringing a Cup team in. It's because the charter is just too expensive to acquire.
Tony Stewart's already talking about selling 2 of his charters because if you're only putting 37 cars on the field and he's got 2 in a charter and 2 not, well, with 37 cars,
it doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't. He's going to make the show. Why should? And the same thing with Junior. Why should Junior spend $40 million on a charter?
It makes absolutely zero sense.
That out of the 36 race schedule, right? 36. Take the All-Star and all that, the Clash and all that out, but 36-week schedule. Last year, they only had 6 races with 40 cars. So that means that Junior or anybody else is guaranteed to make 30 events. Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. I've seen him. Junior's racing hell because of the way they're doing with the wrenches now. You got to rent the wrenches. You can't buy your wrenches. You got to rent the wrenches. Yeah, the wrenches they're using on the Cup set, the single lug wrenches?
Yeah.
The teams don't own it. It's a company. You're leasing the wrenches every race.
Stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Between everything, with the way they present the sponsors, the way the car is built, the way the numbers are slanted forward, all that stuff, NASCAR has a laundry list of issues that they need to sort out.
Right.
Prompto.
They've got a good product.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a good product, I think, so far. I really didn't so much enjoy the Phoenix race as much, but the first 3 out of that, I mean, Daytona was good. Atlanta was good. Vegas was good, considering the weather and everything else, but it was a good event. Tight racing, good racing. And they just
you could have a good product all day long, but if you can't sell it the right way and you can't execute the right way and you can't get the people to buy into what you're trying to sell,
right,
you're not going to get many eyes on it. Doesn't matter how good the product is.
And it's been proven too. It's been proven as far as sponsors to client responsibility or taking and giving of it, that NASCAR's fan base, if Dale Jr. says drink Mountain Dew, they're drinking Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
If it says buy this product, the fans are doing it. So they need to get it together and realize what they've got is a good product and stop trying to make something out. Grandpa had this rule, Johnny Splatro. If it isn't broke, don't try to fix it. Leave it alone.
Exactly.
And I think that's where this has gone. They thought that they were going to get themselves into these other markets, the Chicago street race and all this. No. There's no, why are you going to shut down the town for 2 weeks, piss everybody off? No. Rockingham, Wilkesboro, Kern County, Langley. They used to run it. They used to run at Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray back in the old NASCAR Cup.
They did.
They ran there.
They did.
If you're going to run a short track, the heck with the LA Coliseum digging up the turf. USC football team's got to be happy every time NASCAR comes to town because they get brand new surface every year. They get a brand new field to play on every year.
And yet Caleb Williams still finds wiggle room to find something else to complain about something. But we'll see how that helps with his draft stock.
Before we get out of here today, we got our young fans and people out here. about a little bit of conditioning and stretching. What's good for race car drivers getting ready to go?
Absolutely. So I was actually just thinking about this the other day, just trying to put a post together and designing my own strength conditioning programs. The biggest consideration that that we race car drivers have is how to deal with the heat in strenuous conditions. The inside of the car, the cockpit, is about 140 degrees.
Yep.
No matter what series you're racing in, it is brutal on your body. So it's gonna take some electrolytes replenishing about a week, 2 weeks before you're competing. And if you're in the Cup Series, that's basically every single week on a regular basis. I've basically been in conversations with a couple coaches around the country, kind of giving me advice on that. Really got to maximize, how they breathe, and how they load their spine too, because when those belts are on and they're tight, you're shrinking your ribs and you're shrinking your spine down. So your lung capacity is going to be compromised,
Right.
And it's going to be rough on your back. So got to build some strength in the upper and lower back. Definitely plan your sets and rep schemes. Kind of like here's how I do it. I basically have 2 power days and 2 endurance days, and the endurance days are really designed to kind of really maximize my lung capacity.
Right.
So that way you could actually breathe inside the race car, which is very hard to do because your adrenaline is up, and your nerves are kind of up there inside the seat, and you're so hyper focused.
Not including that you got a 4 or 5 piece Kevlar fire suit and a helmet on you
That
and
too.
head stocks on you and everything
too.
else. So
But that goes without saying.
Yeah.
So that's so it's as much of a power type sport as it is with football and basketball are, because of the way the car handles, your reflexes have to be on point as well. And even some of your shoulder and hip mobility too, because you're going to be swinging your leg in and out of the car repeatedly. You're going to be and constricted in a 5-point safety harness. Your hips and your shoulders aren't really going to move at all. So you got to throw that in there. It may not really it may not have anything to do with racing, but your quality of life is important at the end of
Right.
it too. So you got to throw that into consideration as well. But if you'd like to follow me on Instagram at Johnny Spilatro, JOHNNY SPILOTRO, or my other Instagram at Spilatro _strength_conditioning. I'll give plenty of details on that.
there you go. That's it. Keep yourself hydrated out there, young racers. Make sure you get lots of water, lots of electrolytes in you, man. Make sure you stretch real good too. It's real important stretching out. Get your body stretched out before you get in that car.
Dynamic stretching. If you have any questions to train with me about it, let me know.
There you go. Johnny Spilatro's got it together, man. UNLV graduated in there, man, and race car driver. Back when's the next round at the Bull Ring?
Next round is going to be March 24th or 23rd. This next Saturday. We got a pair of double mains in the Pro Late Model Series for that as well. So
I think I might have to get out there. I think I might have to get out there in the stands and
we'd love to have you.
come on out there and have a
We'd
good
love
time.
to have you.
There you go. On Pit Road Racing, wrapping it up for Wednesday edition. Johnny Spilatro sitting in. Diane's logged on. She's feeling a little better. In fact, let me pop this up because she said hey to you. There you go. There you go. There you go, Johnny.
Hi, Diane.
There you go.
Feel better.
There you go. Looking good. We'll be back Friday. Got Scratch with the Gate live from Daytona Beach, Florida, man. He just got done with bike week down there.
Woo! I can't wait to tune into that episode and all about it.
It's going to be crazy. That's it. Scratch and I'll be back Friday, 4 o'clock for you right here. Then back on Monday, and then we'll keep it rolling down at the Bull Ring next week. Watch Johnny and the whole SGT. Have to say hi to Scotty Gabarini for me, okay?
Oh, you know I will.
All righty. So get out there. Tickets at lbms.com. I want to remind you, if you like local racing, no matter here in Las Vegas, no matter where you're at around the country, you're here on the West Coast, the Midwest, or back East, hey, search for a local track, okay? Great family fun, man, inexpensive. Get out, get yourself some tickets. Most of the tracks are under $10 to get in. Kids get in for free. Man, good hot dogs, cold beers, and some
Cheaper than a movie.
yeah, and
Cheaper than a movie.
And great racing action Friday and Saturday nights at your local track. So definitely make sure that you get out and have a good time with that. All right. Hey, Johnny, thanks a lot for being with us today. Definitely appreciate it, my friend.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You got it, man. And as we always say, it's time for us to make us a call to our good buddy, John Lindquist. John, are you out there today? Back at you coming up on Friday. Scratching with the day and I back at 4 o'clock. And back at you on Monday. NASCAR's heading to Bristol this weekend. The last great policy of the dirt's off the track. We're back to asphalt. Everybody have a great rest of your week. We'll catch you on Friday. John, you out there?
Thanks for joining us for On Pit Road Racing. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Pit Road Racing. On Pit Road Racing is written and produced by WCOBN TV. I'm John the Announcer for On Pit Road Racing.